Hello, everyone. Key of W here with Artisan of Glimmith. Again, we're going to be trying to bejewel some windows now. I'm in town again. Maybe not get all the way to the jewels yet. At least gild these two windows if I can help it in a reasonable time frame. So, yeah, let's just start in this area of town. I forget which. Yeah, this is the mingle shape area. I love mingle shape. That's a fun rule. All regions must be one of these shapes. Okay. What do I know? I know that this is not part of a cross shape, right? Where is the cross going to go? This is part of an elbow. And if the elbow goes down, it creates an orphan cell. So the elbow must go across this way or that way. Which means, yeah, if it doesn't go down, the cross shape is here. Do I know anything after that? No, I do not. um, if I were to put the cross shape here, I'd put an elbow there, which is workable. Isn't it? Oh, I don't want to. Again, it's very much like, oh, let me just guess the cross goes here and then see if the puzzle's solved. Not how I like to solve it. I want to logically deduce something, because the cross can be there. It means that there can't be a cross shape there, right? Well, if the cross shape is here, then it's there. And if the cross shape is here, then it's there. So either way, these are parts of the cross shape. So can this ever be cross-shaped? No. There's no way for that. So this has to be part of an elbow shape. So it could go up there if the cross is here, or it could go down this. Hold on, this is part of the elbow shape. If our cross shape comes down, then we don't have any way to make another cross. So this is the cross shape here. This is the elbow. There's the cross, there's the elbow. And we're done. Excuse me, game. Didn't mean to do that. Nice puzzle. All regions must be L's or S's. Well, we can't have an S here. That would be a problem. So we've got to have an L, but I don't know if we're going to go this. Oh, I know we're not going to go that way. So we have to go like this. This can't be an L shape. We've got to have an S shape here. Here can't be an S. It's got to be an L. So is it up or over? Ooh, either way is possible. If yeah, we can have an L here. We can't have an L go that way. How about there? Oh wait, hold on. Let's take mingle shape into consideration. If I make that, there's no way the L can go here at all. It's got to be this, which means we have to have an L shape here, and then we have to have an S. These all have to be L parts of an L. I think that that's the only way we can do it, which is perfectly fine here, because then we've got to have the L there and there. Wonderful. I really like that one. Let's jump into a 5. Why not? All regions are singles, dominoes, or O's. Well, this has been gifted to us. So we need an O shape here because we're touching the other two. This needs to be a single. This needs to be a domino. This needs to be a single, and then this needs to be a domino. This can't be a domino, and it can't be an O shape. So it must be a single. So this corner piece can't be red or yellow, right? So it's got to be a domino. This piece has to be domino, and that means this piece is an O. This piece could be a single. No. If this piece is a single, we force the domino out, and then what goes here? Therefore, the domino goes down. We have to put a single there because it's touching the other two. This one has to be an O shape. This one's got to be a single, and now we can't have an O shape here because it'll touch another one. It must be a domino. This must be a domino. Where do we go from here? We can bring up. We can't bring both of these out because then we'd have to have a single here and a single there. So one of these must go in, making the other one a yellow piece. So there's a single and a domino. There's a yellow piece somewhere in here. Which one is it? If I were to put a single piece there, I'd force a domino here. So this can't be a single piece, it has to be a domino. Now, if I put the less single like this, I would force an O shape here. And then what goes there? Nothing. Therefore, this is a domino that moves down. So this domino moves down. And we have a single there. This domino moves out, which means we need an O shape here. Single. Domino needs to go there, and then a single needs to go there. This needs to be a single. This needs to be a domino and an O shape. Nice. I liked that little bit right here. I had to figure out the logic. That was really well done. Oh, there's a 2 here I haven't done. Let's just take care of that, please. Mingle shape. We've got a lot of elbows that can't touch each other. Here, let's just mark. These are the land of the elbows. This elbow can't move up or left unless it's part of this elbow, so it must be. Therefore, this elbow can't move those directions. Don't think we can have an elbow. Yeah, we can't have anything move into this center square. Because anytime an elbow moves in the center square, it can touch one more elbow at max, but the other two, yeah, it's not going to work. So we have to block this in as a single space. If this elbow moves down, we're in trouble. Because then it moves left and it's touching these two, but it's not a part of it. Or it touches that, or it touches that. Therefore, this elbow must touch one of, or become one of these two, either that way or that way. This elbow cannot move down because it will touch that without becoming part of it. So this one is set. We now can't move that way. That's done. We have a single again. What do I do with this? This elbow can't move up because now it's touching 2, but it can only take care of one of them. Huh. Is it just this? Oh, hold on. It might just be that, but this one can't move up because it'll touch that one. So yeah, we blocked in here. Can't move left. So yeah, this one takes care of that. This takes care of that, and then this takes care of that. We should just be able to fill everything else in with singles and doubles. Yep. What's in there? What's in there? Gonna hide from me. T shape, P shape, and then whatever this staircase is. Okay, where do we start here? We all have to be one of those shapes. I'm gonna start with this staircase shape. It can't ever take that spot, so we can have it this way. We can't have it this way, because now the P shape has nowhere to go. Actually, the P shape has to either be this one or that. So those have to be blocked, which means that this is the staircase shape. We have to fill that in. I think this is right. This has to be part of a piece, can be part of a T piece or a P piece. But they, we can't be touching, it has to be T, right? It has to be something different. That means this T shape can do whatever, but we have to have a staircase piece here. There's multiple ways to arrange it, though, is the thing. This is a way to arrange it. But this has to be that shape. like, I could put a staircase piece here just fine. A T shape up there. This P shape. How do I want to arrange it? Not sure. How about down here? I don't think a T shape works in this spot because it would force that. It would be touching a T shape. So I think it has to be a P shape here, which means it has to take that spot, because if it doesn't, it's that shape. It has to take that spot, which means it has to take both of these. That forces me to put a staircase here. That won't work because we need to fill the P shape. This would work, but also that would work. No, it can't go up this far ever, so it definitely is here. That means this spot could be a T. It can't be a P shape, because then we have it touches the other P shape. There's no way it would go here. So this has to be a T, and it has to be like that, which gives us this P shape. And staircase, well, we need something here that's not. Oh, but no, I can't fill anything in here. Is there another way to do this down here? Right? Is there... This doesn't... You know, we can't touch that, so it's got to be this. But then what goes here? Can't be another staircase. It can't be a P shape, so we'd have to put a T shape here. Oh, I see. Hold on. We can do that. We'd have to. Can't put a T shape here because it's going to touch one of those. So it is a P shape like this. Now we have this going on. We can't bring the staircase this way. No shape fits. In fact, if we block it, that's the end of that. So we have to bring up, which is either this or that. Not sure. What goes here has to be blue. Now, if these two don't touch each other, if we were to block it, this would have to be like so, and then we would have to make this shape. That doesn't work. Or this shape, which blocks in. So I think these two are going to touch each other, which means they're going to be like this. Which means this is the shape up here. We have to have a T shape there. I think we have to have a P shape in here. T shape would, yeah, block it up. So we have P shape like this, and then it has to go down there. We could have T or staircase here. We have T or P there. This has to be, you know, the T shape is there. What are the arrangements? This is an arrangement. This is an arrangement. This arrangement doesn't work because nothing goes down there. Any arrangement like this isn't going to work. So I think it is this arrangement. And we're done. Got it. That was an interesting one. How are we doing there? A couple more, we gild this sucker. Excuse me. Something caught my throat. Okay. We have dominoes all day. They can't touch each other. So that is taken care of. Mingle shape means I can't do this. So there we go. Can't bring that upward. Do I know anything else? Is this a single and a double? No, it isn't. It must be an elbow piece. Now, we've got that blocked in. This can't go up. So whatever piece is in here has to be at least 3. No, it can be a single, and then this can be at least 3. Which direction do we go here? Well, if we go down this way, we have to block both these pieces from moving into the center, which makes another domino. So we do have to bring that out, which is going to force this down. Forces that to the right. Which leaves a domino space in there unless we do something about it. So we've got this going on. So we can't bring that those directions. Means we can't bring that down. That would be a problem. Can't bring that left or we have another domino, so we have to bring this down to make another elbow space there. This could go up. If this goes to the right, we have a domino space underneath that's blocked in, so we do have to bring that That's going to solve our problems. Nice puzzle. How about you? Oh, S pieces. Well, gotta block that. We can't have these be two separate S pieces. Not only do they not fit, but mingle shape tells us that is illegal. So we have to make this thing happen. This L particularly would cause a mingle shape violation, so we have to bring it down this way. Now we don't have to make everything part of the polyomino, nor do we have to make everything a tetromino, so I should think about that. This is another T shape. L shape can't move either of those directions. Huh. T shapes. This L is gifted. Gifted to us like that. So this T shape here can't not go down. It must go down, because if I do what I'm doing here, this T shape has nowhere to go. So this T shape must move down into there. That gives us a T shape there. This isn't too hard from there. Now I just got to make sure we don't have any shapes that match. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's how we do it. And then we bring this here. So the rest of this should all just be easy enough to do. There we go. We gilded this window. Let's keep going in this area generally, because we're going to have a lot of the same rules. Precision, all regions have exactly 4. So we're forced to make a couple T's. But we can't have T's next to the T's. So we got to have an I shape in here. Now we got to get somebody in this spot. It must be an L shape, right? Can't be an I or an O. It won't fit. Can't be a T shape. Breaks the rule. So it's an S or an L. S shape creates a little hole there we don't want. So we have to have an L shape here. And then we can't have an L shape here. I and O don't fit. T shape is also something we can't have. It leaves S as the only shape. This one must be an L. It's the only shape that fits. What do I want there? Let's think about this shape here. We can't have an L here. We also can't have a T in this shape. I'll show you why. T shape here creates orphan cells, or it creates another T shape. We can't have an I shape in here, so it can't have an S shape in here. So it must be an O shape. Process of elimination. No, that breaks the puzzle too. What is here? O shape would create an L here, which is bad. I shape doesn't fit. S shape. Oh, there is a way to make an S shape, but it breaks the puzzle. That breaks the puzzle. Is there a way to make a T shape that doesn't break the puzzle? This breaks the puzzle. That breaks the puzzle. We'll think what goes here then. If I put an I shape there, what would I do here? Oh, I see. Like so. That made it easier if I started on this corner. Oh, pentomino time. What's being forced on us here? We're having some stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces here. So this space has to be filled in. There's a pentomino fully in here and then one fully there. So we can't have a Y shape here because it's going to force a Y shape there. We could have a cross shape just fine because it forces an F shape. We can have an F shape. We cannot. Okay, so yeah, these three have to be part of the same unit. F shape blocks in. Y shape creates a Y shape. F shape here is bad. So it has to be a cross shape. That's going to make us use this. Okay. Anything else we can gather? How about this space? This could be another cross shape. No, it can't because we're next to a cross shape. So we can't have that. These three have to be together, but we can't use these two spots. We can't make an F shape either in any form. So if I move this direction, we have either a cross or an F shape, which is not allowed. So I cannot move that way. I have to move down and down again and make a Y shape, which is going to force I or L. Not entirely sure which. Now up here, P shape is certainly tempting. Or a T shape. So this shape has to come up and then it also has to take that spot. If it doesn't, then we're going to block it in. So it has to take these three. So the question is, which two of these four? It can't take that, that leaves orphan cells. So it can't grab that space. So it has to grab two of these three, must grab that one. So it's either a T or it's a P. I think it's a P. This shape, yeah, this shape can't ever touch that side. It can't ever create orphan cells. So we'd have two L shapes. So this is, in fact, the T shape, which means what? I could put an L and an I here just fine, but that would put an L there. So I think we have to put a V shape here. And then a P shape is sort of forced in that spot. That gives us the L like this, which gives us another Y shape, which gives us another L, and the puzzle is broken. No, let's put a T shape here. Let's make it orange this time. And then this gives us a C shape, gives us a P shape at the bottom, and we should have a Y shape. Again, a lot of Y shapes here, and then an L shape should finish off the puzzle. Well done. Well done, me. Round of applause for me. All right, we have a P shape in the center because whatever takes this spot has to take all three of these. So the question is where it goes from there. Who knows? This piece here has to take these three for sure. And it can't take either of these two. So it must be the cross shape. That's given to us. Whatever takes this space has to also take these three. So we have another P shape going on. So whatever takes this spot must take these as well. So it could be a W going that way or that way. This piece has to come out at least this far, right? We could have an F shape here, just fine, but we could also have these P shapes block in both directions. So that's as far as I know in there. Let's see. Well, we got to have this space. This piece here has to move into that square for sure. Has to move there, which means we have to also take these two. So now the P shape here is forced. This one is also forced. Let's see. This must be an N shape because we can't make this. It makes orphan cell. That puts a W shape here. This shape must come down, and it can't be a W shape because it's next to a W, so it must be an N shape. That's a W. That's a P, and we're good. Let's see. Any others I can grab that are less than? Let's grab a 2. Okay, shape bank, polyomino, delta, everything all together at once. So this must touch one of the delta shapes. So must this. Actually, all of these are there. So this is one pattern. Or that. How do I determine which is which? Well, this tetromino, it must move leftward at least one space. Shape bank now is going to force us to make this pattern. All right, so this is the one we must use. That forces an elbow piece here. If it moves up in here, we have a problem. It's got to move that direction. This must be elbow, and it must go that way. This must be elbow, must move that way at least. This must be elbow, and it can't touch that space, so it has to go down here. So this is set. That's set. That is set. I think we have it. There we go. Okay, we have tetrominos, everything but the O. So I got my I, my L, my S, and my T. Okay. How do we do this? This T is either here or there. Would this I cause a problem? If this I went upward, it would, because both of these had to be I. We couldn't make it this way because now that doesn't fit the shape. But this I forces another I down there anyway. So this I must go across, but it can't go to the left of here. So it's either that, this would force it. So it really is just this. That forces a T here, which means there has to be a T in this shape, but it can't be there, which forces the S to do a little bit of work over here. Okay, this isn't too bad. Down here, we gotta have another T shape. We gotta have an S shape here and an L shape. So how do we get an S shape here? There's a couple ways, but this L has to come up, which means S and then L. So what are the ways we can do this? There's quite a few, but there's got to be L there. Think about the S. The S can go this way. No, it can't, because then the L does that. We have an orphan, so we can't do that with the S. So we have to do it this way, which is fine. Yes, it's fine. Nice. Pretty good puzzle. There's something inside this building here? Let's do it. Oh no! Okay. We've got to do... Oh, it's one of these. Okay, so I've got 2 circles that are going to touch the Gemini piece. So let's make a red one. And let's make a blue one. Now the trick on this is that they're rotated in a very weird way. So I've got to tilt my head here. If I tilt my head so that this is essentially the up and down axis, it is just mirrored, I think. Is it? Kind of. And then I have to like take out pieces that, oh dear. I know that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. So those spaces, this is the same symbol? No, it's not. How am I going to do this? If I move this in, I have to then move that in. That's totally fine. But if I don't do that, who's going to take the space, right? Because everything's got to touch a circle and a polyomino. So the red and blue can't touch any polyominoes. The circles must touch the polyominoes. So this circle must touch that one. This circle must touch that one. This circle must touch that one, right? That's going to happen. This is going to happen. And this is going to happen. There's no getting out of it. Okay. So I think because this can't reach the red, yeah, these are going to go in and then they're going to go out this way. That is given. That's got to go out again. So that has to move out that way. I gotta sneeze. That was for you. This purple could extend this way, but it could also extend that way. Either way, purple is going to take that spot, which means the corresponding spot is here, right? This is the corresponding spot on the wall, so that spot can't be taken. This spot also needs to be taken, right, by a non-red or blue. So let's think about it in terms of how we're mirroring this set. This is the spot we have to mirror, right? No, hold on. This way? Hold on. Well, I think that has to be like so. This orange then would be here. I'm trying to like think down the line if we're making our sort of symmetry here. Is it that way? Right. It might not be that. Well, it can't be that. So this is for sure. they're not entering in the same sort of... It's not exactly mirrored, is the thing. But how do I make these shapes? Man, I'm not good at rotating this stuff in my mind. Well, I think we have to take this spot, because if it was red, the blue would go into there, and if it was blue, the red would go into here. So I think that is a given, which means this can't be a teal spot. This can't be a blue spot because the red would move into there. So we gotta block that. So I think this is the teal, which would do this. What else? We can move 3 more spaces down, that's fine. We can only move 2 spaces in, that would be this way. If I did this, it would be the same as that. That's fine. What piece could reach these corners here? This one can't. This one can't in any form. Now, if I moved this way, I'd have to put something here, and it won't be this piece. So I think I have to do this. That might work, because now I can do it this way. Now, how do I get this piece to be correct? That's fine. Is this it? This might be it. Yeah, that's it. Jeez. That was a rough one. I think it's a good one. It's just rough for me. My brain doesn't work that way. I'm going to do a little easy one in the end of the video here. It's a good stopping point for me. Precision, polyomino. But I don't have to worry about everything being... No, they all have to be tetraominoes. But they don't all have to be part of these polyominoes. This eye is set. We can't move it all the way left. We can't move it up or down at all, I don't think. No, it barely fits. Damn, I wish I had that one set. These have to move in like so, which is going to force an O shape here and there. Those are done. This then has to be the L. This piece has to be an L. What goes here? There's a bunch of ways to do the S. The T only has one way. That means the S is here. L. The I, therefore, is like that. The T... Oops. T shapes here. Here, and that's that. Amazing. Well done, me. Alright, I gotta take a break here. There's quite a few more to get gold, so I'm gonna do that in a later video. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been real fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.